It is Wednesday, July the 8th. If the clerk could please call the roll.
Councilmember Angela Whitfield Callaway.
I am present.
Councilmember Scott Benson.
Scott Benson, aye.
Councilmember Renata Miller. Madam Chair, you have a quorum present.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. I do have a scripture that I'd like to, a word of motivation that we have been provided. It's called Every Member Commitment Devotional. Thank you, Peter, again. It is, our cup runneth over, O God, because of your tender mercies. We thank you for your everlasting love that enfolds us and for the peace of Christ that surrounds us. Amen. Thank you so much. Is there a motion for the approval of the minutes?
Motion.
Hearing no objections, that action shall be taken. I'm going to take this opportunity to, I usually don't, I think this is my first time having some remarks. I do want to ask that we take a moment of silence for the young man, he's 5 years old, who was shot in the upper arm yesterday, right around Fargo and Oakfield at the Fargo Park. I was with the family this morning. It is in District 2, and I was able to see that he survived. We're going to keep the HARP, H-A-R-P, family in our prayers. So if you could please bow your heads and just keep that young man in your prayers. Thank you. Thank you. And I do have a statement that I'd like to read under the section of our agenda, which is called Chair Remarks. I want to thank the community members who contacted my office regarding the horrific incident that occurred last night at Fargo Oakfield Park in District 2. I have been communicating with law enforcement and with the family of the five-year-old boy. I share our mayor's sentiments and thank God that this young child is expected to recover from his injuries. My thoughts are with this family as this child heals from his unnecessary traumatic experience. I am deeply disturbed by what happened and remain committed to advocating for responsible gun ownership, and I'll further say responsible gun use, including the safe and secure storage of firearms. I have been clear and consistent in my stance on gun violence. Careless and reckless handling of a firearm puts lives at risk, and an innocent child was placed directly in harm's way. Bullets do not have a name on them, and guns have consequences. What we teach our children and the environments in which they are raised is important. As parents, educators, mentors, caregivers, and community leaders, we must instill respect for human life and make it clear that firearms are not toys, and violence is never the answer. I will continue working with our community partners and the administration to prevent these senseless acts of gun violence. Our neighborhood parks are places for children and families to enjoy themselves. They are not shooting ranges. Every child deserves to feel safe in their own community. And that is my chair remarks for this morning. Thank you.
Discussion, Madam Chair?
Yes, Member Benson?
Thank you for that, and that's just a terrible situation. I've got a 6-year-old at home. I can't imagine a bullet going through his body and what kind of trauma that will cause to him and his body. And as he's 5 years old, he has at least maybe 85 years ahead of him, having been shot at the age of 5. And this also goes back to the Park Patrol, which I advocated for and my colleagues supported, the need to not allow chaos within our communities or our parks. It's terrible, terrible situation. And thank you for that, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Member Benson. And I do remember you inquiring about that. We do need security at our parks. We need police presence at our parks, but then when you have police presence there, I don't know if it makes people uncomfortable. It would make me feel very safe and comfortable, but that's a conversation we need to continue to have because what happened yesterday is unacceptable and just ridiculous. So that being said, public comment is now closed. Public comment is now closed. And if there's anyone here in the Committee of the Whole, if you'd like to make public comment, if you could raise your hand. Seeing no one here in the Committee of the Whole who would like to make public comment. Ms. J.C., how many callers do we have on the line?
Good morning, Madam Chair. We have 11 hands raised for virtual public comment.
Each person will have a minute and a half. A minute and a half. Thank you. And the first caller is?
The first caller is number ending in 169.
Caller ending in 169, you have a minute and a half.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Great. Black people, brown people,
You want to
pink people,
introduce
white
yourself?
people,
Do you
yellow
want to
people.
introduce yourself for the record, sir?
My name is Jay.
Thank you, Jay. You can proceed.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Black people, brown people, pink people, white people, yellow people, etc. Thank you for praying for Brother Cunningham, and don't just thank him, bank him. Everyone must read the Willie Lynch letter. In this 1712 speech outlining psychological control techniques for enslaved populations, through scholars widely recognize it as modern fabrication. It explores themes of breaking the female to influence offspring and creating division amongst enslaved people to ensure long-term control. Thank you for listening. Yes, you hearing me. Thank you, and thank you for my time.
Thank you, Jay. The next caller is?
The next caller is Betty A. Varner.
Ms. Varner, you have a minute and a half.
Good morning to all within the sound of my voice. I'm Betty A. Varner, president of DeSoto Ellsworth Black Association. My heart and prayers go out to the Hart family. I'm wishing a speedy recovery to the baby. That's really sad, sad, sad. Still in need of volunteers for our Rise Detroit event that's going to be Saturday, August 1st from 11 to 3. Setup time is 10 a.m. It's going to be at 6451 Ellsworth. Again, 6451 Ellsworth at the park we have created in our community. We're still in need of a barber. So we need volunteers, people to help us set up and break down. We're offering space for people who want to sell items, legal, anything legal. We're offering space, asking for a donation of $25 to help us with our expansion of our park. For space, we're asking everybody to bring their own table and chairs. It's going to be a family fun event. Everything that we are doing is free. We're giving away school supplies, hygiene products, food, offering resources, and all types of fun and family games. Thank you for
The next caller is? Thank you, Ms. Varner.
The next caller is Cunningham.
You have a minute and a half, Mr. Cunningham. Good morning.
Three one three 444-9114, 313-444-9114, 313-444-9114. That number was made so you can remember it. Proverbs 18:16. Proverbs, the book of wisdom. A man's gift maketh room for him, and bringeth him before great men. Please note, on the bus ride-alongs, we give out free, FREE, free bus tickets and paper low-income housing lists. If you want a low-income housing list mailed to you, call this number, 855-646-7432. Again, that's 855-646-7432. That is the Michigan Housing and Development Authority. They will mail that list to you. Please pray for us as we pray for you. Real talk. And I'm not telling any council person anything new. They've all done the bus ride along with me, and we give out low-income housing resources and bus tickets on board. I really had a great time mingling with the people on the coaches, with these council persons. Make sure you pray for our council. For all those that are in authority, please pray. If you'd like to do it right along, 313-444.
Thank you, Mr. Cunningham. And the next caller is?
The next caller is Dr. Denise Darnell.
Dr. Darnell, you have a minute and a half.
Good morning. Can I be heard?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Member Calloway, for all that you're doing. And I too will pray for the 5-year-old and pray for peace in our community. I'm on the August 4th ballot in Wayne County Precinct 203 for delegate to the county convention and would appreciate consideration and vote for those in this precinct. I am running for precinct delegate because I believe everybody can do something, especially in light of what just happened. I was talking to a friend last night and it's agreed that we have to do everything in our power to fight against number 47's regime and their desire to rewind history back to the days of Jim Crow and push play. Even if you're not active and running for office, we can all talk to young people that we know in our circle of influence, especially those that are 18 and older, and make sure they're registered to vote. This is the least we can do. And because I'm an advocate for young people, I am a member of 482 Forward advocating for public education and Proposal S, which will simply replace the tax previously levied by DPS now that their legacy debt's been paid. The millage won't cost Detroit homeowners anything. It will allow Detroit schools, community district to continue investing in art, music, and education and improve the education for our students. Thank you, and God bless each of you.
Thank you, Darnell. The next caller is?
The next caller is Joyce E. Jennings.
Ms. Jennings, you have a minute and a half, and good morning. Ms. Jennings, you have a minute and a half. Ms. JC, if you could move Ms. Jennings to the end of the queue, we'll circle back to her later. The next caller is?
The next caller is Owner Papa.
Ms. Owner Popper, you have a minute and a half.
Good morning, and through the chair, may I be heard?
Yes, you can be heard.
I live in a city that had more than 11,000 rape kits that had not been tested, and I'm not sure if you think that this community is being treated as if they're human. We have dirty dirt holes all over the city. You don't think young people see that? Don't vote yourselves in another millage. Say no to every millage that they bring to you that will cause you more millages. They have people moving into this city that are paying a fraction of what you pay in millages. So no, don't. And where is the low income housing? I think they've swapped it out for AMI, which does not help the community. And I'm not sure your shot spotter didn't stop anything either. And I'm hearing two different renditions of this shooting of this young man, and my heart goes out to the family and to that young man. The Bettis said he was in front of his house. He was on his bike in front of his house being supervised by his father. I'm not sure how it moved to the park. Mr. Benson has never found an issue that he couldn't or didn't want to exploit. We are being exploited. We're being mistreated. And 8.4 will show you just how the police department operates.
Good morning, and thank you for that. If I've said anything that conflicts with what the chief said, he has firsthand information. The park is located across the street from all the homes. As a matter of fact, the park sits in the center of that community. The next caller is?
The next caller is Tahira Ahmad.
Ms. Ahmad, you have a minute and a half, and good morning.
Good morning, Council Member Calloway and Benson and Renata Miller. I want to thank you very much for your hard work, you all. I know sometimes you feel like no good deed goes unpunished. People criticize you and never really even understand what you're going through and what you have to weigh. But I want to just let you know from the community, from me anyway, that we understand that this is a difficult job and we may not always agree, but we do thank you for your due diligence. I have a proverb, an African proverb. The young cannot teach tradition to the old. We need to maybe have our people, our activists, come out and read in the park to the children. We've got to be more visible so the children won't feel like they can pull a gun out of anywhere and shoot up in the air or whatever happened. Where was Shot Spotter? We're spending millions of dollars, and I was disappointed when you brought that back, gave them some more money. We all know that that's all about trying to take money. Now, Shot Spotter has not been effective at all, even in the beginning when you dealt with it. I think we should also have the understanding that when we were enslaved, our names, our language, our culture was forbidden, and we had.
Thank you, Ms. Amat. The next caller is?
The next caller is Black Bag.
Black Bag, you have a minute and a half.
Okay, so I'm gonna start this off with saying emboldenment of the cheated in public officials here in the city of Detroit is MFing amazing. I don't understand how it is that it can be articulated, demonstrated, proven beyond any shadow of any reasonable doubt. And people don't understand that the Detroit City Clerk, chairperson of the Detroit Election Commission, has been cheating in Detroit elections for untold years, more than the 4 or 5 that can be proven and demonstrated beyond any shadow of a doubt. This irrefutable, ironclad, concrete, steel tooth, bear trap proof that Janice Winfrey in the Detroit Department of Elections has been using absentee ballot fraud, and now the very first case I've ever heard of international absentee ballot fraud to elect the mayor, the city council, the board of police commissioners, and the school board. The MFing school board, the city of Detroit is corrupt and corrupted.
The next caller is?
The next caller is William M. Davis.
Good morning, Mr. Davis. You have a minute and a half.
Good morning. Can I be heard?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to start off by saying my heart goes out to any child that's harmed or hurt in our city. I have a 4-year-old granddaughter that just had a birthday this past Sunday. Now, I think we need to be doing more to take care of our children, our grandchildren, and every child in the city of Detroit. Also, I think that we need to do a better job of making sure our dollars circulate in the city of Detroit. We should not be subsidizing our suburban friends that act like they're wayward children is trying to steal everything from their parents. Our dollars should be staying in the city of Detroit. Our dollars should be benefiting the city of Detroit. I think our crime is still too high, even though it's dropping, but it's still higher than some states. We also should be looking at the fact that, like, say, when you look at 8.10, police and fire, it would be great to see something on the agenda about some changes that y'all are advocating and supporting that could benefit general fund retirees who are more Black, who are more females, who are more brown than police and fire. I don't think anything should be taken from the police and fire, but I think we should eliminate this separate and unequal between the two pension boards. I think a great deal more can and should be done to help City of Detroit retirees who took a major cut and see a cut every month in their pension check. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you, Thank you, Mr. Davis. I'm going to call the 10:15 interview to order, and then I'm going to recess it to the call of the chair. Our next caller is?
The next caller is number ending in 534.
Caller ending in 534. You have a minute and a half.
Good morning. May I be heard?
Yes, ma'am. You could be heard.
Okay. I cited earlier as inclusionary planning matters. So I have a question I keep asking, and for some reason I don't get an answer to it. It would be nice, Member Miller, as my representative, if you could make sure I get an answer and ask these questions at the interview. Why do some people in the city get housing upgrades in the targeted solar areas and the rest of us property owners do not? There was not a community benefits ordinance process or community benefits agreement for the solar projects. So, and you have a duty to ensure equality of opportunity under the charter. And so why do some people get housing upgrades and some people don't? Also, regarding the interview for the City Planning Commission, what experience exactly, what did Mr. Gary Ringer do with Elevate? And also, I want to know what he thinks about data centers, since the City Planning Commission would be working on the zoning for the data centers. I'd also like to know if he is willing to ask the administration to go back and do more meaningful, inclusive community engagement in neighborhoods with the neighbors who live there. They're the biggest stakeholders in the master plan update process. Because what we've gotten so far has been very unequal. We've got a selected, unelected group of 41 or so people, master plan.
Our next caller is?
The next caller is Mr. Foster.
Mr. Foster, you have a minute and a half.
Good morning, through the chair. A few things. Just wanted to speak very briefly on firearms, just firearms in particular. We have to first identify why our community feel the need to have these firearms in the community. More importantly, in the more recent shootings, they have had extendos, ARs, and different things like that. All of those are military-grade weapons. Now, why do our community feel the need to have military-grade weapons in an urban environment is an important question. Handguns generally have a range of 50 meters of effective range. Long rifles have a effective range of 3,600 meters, right? And so we have to do a better job and removing them and changing the phobias that exist within our community, addressing the fears that exist in our community, and people won't have access to them. Any child being shot is a problem. Like I said before, it's a long road to recovery, right? It takes more than police. It takes more than city council. The people that live in these communities have to care about the communities in which they live in. You know, they have to care about their children. They have to present new values and new principles within these communities. And I think that's where the education factors comes in. It just don't make sense. We have officers that just shot themselves accidentally a couple weeks ago. So it's not just community, it's about overall understanding guns.
Thank you, Mr. Foster. The next caller?
The final caller is Joyce E. Jennings.
Ms. Jennings, you have a minute and a half.
Good morning. Are you able to hear me this time?
We can hear you.
Thank you. Grand rising to everyone. Proverbs 29:2 says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. It is my prayer that anyone that is running for office, serving in office, that you consider that we have a responsibility unto God to do what is righteous concerning God's people. We have children being shot when we have invested millions of dollars in technology that should be able to identify who is doing what throughout our communities. We have millages being recommended and passed to address different opportunities that often do not benefit directly the citizens of Detroit, when we have retirees that have been robbed of their pensions, when we have City of Detroit employees that work in critical jobs that are not retiring because they are losing insurance or other benefits if they retire. And most importantly, we have citizens of Detroit like Mr. Cunningham, Brother Cunningham, who need to be offered opportunities to work in departments like DDOT. I have sent an email recommendation for consideration of Brother Michael Cunningham to serve with DDOT. It's my hope that you would receive, review it, and consider him for hire. That's where I would like to see.
Thank you, Ms. Jennings. That completes our public comment. We will now call our 10:15 interview to order. If Mr. Ringer, I see that you're here, if you could please move to the center chair. Once you take your seat, Mr. Ringer, there is a microphone there, a button at the base of it. If you press that button, it's going to turn green, and you can introduce yourself.
Good morning. My name is Gary Ringer.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and your interest in this appointment to the City Planning Commission, sir.
Absolutely. Retired firefighter, 23 years with the Detroit Fire Department. Before becoming a firefighter, I used to build homes in the suburbs of Metro Detroit, which gave me a great opportunity to contrast vibrant and volatile. In that time, I've held numerous positions within various community-based organizations. I've also been in fellowships at a national level, one in particular with the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, for my work in communities due to the trauma and stress that is caused from living in dilapidated communities. And through that work, I was able to garner a position with Joy Southfield Community Development Corporation, and for 4 years added to the health equity of residents from a housing repair program that we called Healthy Homes RX. I'm sure we've all heard of RX Kids. Our program was similar to that, to where we came in and we did a comprehensive whole home approach to looking at what was going on in those homes, not just a one-off coming in and repairing leaks and plumbing. We were actually looking at everything from the rooter to the tutor, from your roof to your basement, mold, lead, asbestos, anything that could inhibit your quality of life was addressed within our comprehensive form. That since went on to just last year, I'm a member of the citywide home repair task force. We did over $62 million in home repairs throughout the city of Detroit.
Thank you. Do my colleagues have any questions for Mr. Ringer? We do have your resume. Thank you very much. Each of us have it. Are there any questions for Mr. Ringer? And I know that Mr. Todd, Marcel Todd, will be joining us virtually if needed. Discussion. Member Benson?
All right, thank you. And Mr. Ringer, thank you for being here today and raising your hand to serve the residents of Detroit. And just for transparency, Mr. Ringer is also a co-chair with the Green Task Force on our organic waste subcommittee. And so he's been on the forefront of discussing how we do organic waste, how we do composting within the city of Detroit, and we want to appreciate him and his efforts there as well. He's been on one of our Green Task Force site visits as well, as has my colleague, the chair, in the past, to bring back best practices for the city of Detroit. So my question for you, Mr. Ringer, is what do you want to see what do you see your role being as a City of Detroit Planning Commissioner?
First of all, maintaining the mandates of the charter for the Planning Commission, but more importantly, just giving the opportunity to add a different perspective as someone who has lived, worked, and essentially served in the community for 23 years, not just from the hours of 9 to 5, but from a 24/7 perspective. I think there are a number of things that I can offer from the aspect of enhanced quality of life within our communities. Our commercial thoroughfares essentially don't look how they should look. So I definitely think that could add to somebody's enlightenment. When you drive home, you see things that look nice, you see things that are taken care of, you see things that are in order. I think it helps to add a better quality within your life, to know that you're going somewhere where your resources are right within your 10-minute walk.
All right, Mr. Ringer, you're speaking my language. I heard order over chaos. I'm about that all day long, quality of life improvements for our residents. And I see that we've been joined by our director of the CPC. And so for me, the CPC staff, you as a planning commissioner, the vast majority of the work that you all do are going to be zoning, either rezoning, downzoning, upzonings. And so I strong advocate for downzoning from heavy industrial to light industrial or more higher intensity commercial where appropriate. We're going to have some heavy industrial within the city of Detroit, but we don't need what we have. We're just not that city anymore, and I just don't think commerce works the same way. And so we have a number of downzonings that we work on. I hope that you'll be amenable to that. And if not, then just take a look at what it means. And when you talk about order over chaos, and we hear this all the time about some of our legacy heavy industrial that are causing problems within communities, when you have now a built-up residential base, and we now know how dangerous or deleterious the impact to our communities can be, heavy industrial that directly abuts heavy residential. And so hopefully you can see that. And I know that we have our director here as well. You also do some site plan work, light site plan work. And I know that we just had a site plan approval for the parking lot of this building. And I really do want to thank the CPC members as well as our director and CPC staff for making that happen, because it means we're going to be able to charge our vehicles. So it also means that the KMAC will be coming into the 21st century when it comes to the ability to charge vehicles. And so you all can have a huge impact on how we do business at KMAC, how the quality of life happens within our neighborhoods. And I like what I'm hearing in regards to order over chaos. And you just heard the chair describe what happened in her district when you had chaos over order. And so that's not what we want. It doesn't help the quality of life for our residents. And you all as a planning commission can play a pivotal role there as well. And so when we talk about the tools that we have, ShotSpotter, to help improve the quality of life of our residents, planning commissioners, help improve the quality of life of our residents, order over chaos. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Benson. Member Miller?
Good morning, everyone, through the chair. How are you, Mr. Ringer?
Phenomenal. How about yourself?
That's great. I'm doing well. I have a question. I'm going to give you 3 topics. Can you tell me what order of importance they are to you? Historic preservation, development, and zoning.
I would have to say
It's not a trick question.
it's definitely not, but I think zoning, from my perspective, once again, being on the job 23 years, when I first became a firefighter, I thought blight was just something that was in my community. But then when I had the opportunity to be a firefighter and go throughout all Detroit communities, I saw blight throughout those communities. And typically, demolition is a barometer of economic activity, but that's in other communities. In Detroit, it's simply been tear it down, get rid of it, right? So from a zoning perspective,
I do have a follow-up. I just want you to tell me 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
1, 2, 3.
Zoning.
That's number 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, and in order.
Zoning, development, what was the first one?
Historic preservation.
Historic preservation.
Zoning, development, historic preservation.
Yeah.
Okay. So how would you balance the need for new housing development with the preservation of Detroit's historic neighborhoods and the existing R1 residential character that maintains our single-family dwellings? That's what
One more
R1
time,
is.
please.
How would you balance new housing development, which
Okay.
we're in need of new housing,
Yep.
with the historic preservation? Because in District 5 alone, we have 4 nationally recognized historical districts in our country, not to mention 4 to 5 additional local and state registered historical districts. So how would you balance the need for new housing with a development, with a new housing development with the preservation of Detroit's historical neighborhoods and the existing R1 character. Because R1 exists throughout the city, it maintains our neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And as we come through zoning, we see some stuff change to R2, 3. We have stuff is changing. He's talking about down zoning. So how would you balance those? Because I am a city planning buff. Before this position, I was there regularly, just because of zoning itself. So I just wonder, how would you, if you're voting on something,
Yes.
you have to make a decision, neighborhood, development, the business, traffic, how would you weigh? It's only one question that I have, so you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, I think it's going to be on a case-by-case basis. As a former builder, I appreciate various designs. I appreciate historic preservation. I appreciate all of those factors. But then I also do respect residents and understand that residents have pushback from either side, you know, wanting something to look aesthetically appealing to what's there. But then from the perspective of building and building science, which is something that I've been into for the past 4, almost 5 years, architecturally, we can't do the same thing. Architecturally and economically, we can't do the same things how we used to. It's too expensive. So I think a lot of times we dumb down the process by not being explicit in our answers to explain certain things, because the hidden cost burden within building how we used to is going to cost you more money, not only from the building process of it, but when you're not incorporating different energy efficient technologies that are currently here, when you're not adding in off-site building practices that can come in and you can essentially stack buildings together like Legos and make sure that they're architecturally sound and safe for residents, but then at the same time also does not add to the carbon footprint.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Member Miller. I have a question for you, Mr. Ringer. I don't know if this is city planning, and maybe Mr. Todd, you can chime in. So I read an article, I think it was in the Wall Street Journal this morning, was regarding the conversion of schools into affordable housing, how they seem to be able to do it around the country. And they said easy, it's easy to convert. We seem to, I think we've gotten 2 of our schoolhouses or buildings converted. I know Higginbotham is in the process of being wrapped up, that development over there. I hope my colleagues will meet me over there real soon. And then I think there was one on the east side, a school that was converted, if I'm not mistaken. I think there's been maybe 2, but now we're about to have 6 schools to go offline. They're closed. Ann Arbor Trail, Johnny Clark, J.E. Clark, I think Greenfield Union, Thurgood Marshall, and I think 2 others. And it's really unfortunate. Catherine Blackwell, that's a well-known school. Those are all offline, effective July the 1st. I was over visiting that child today and his family, the one who was shot in the upper arm, and I drove past Coffee Middle School, and that was one of the most beautiful schools. Bay window, huge bay window, all brick, is being stripped. The second floor is now open. The first floor has been boarded up, and it was a beautiful, beautiful structure. And all of our schools are very, very unique in design. The masonry work, brickwork, the wood, the marble, being stripped. So how do we rethink what we're doing with our schools? Because they're closing rapidly. We have half the stock. And I know we built some to replace some, but once DPS closes those schools, they're stripped and they become an eyesore. They become a safety problem. They become a haven for criminal activity. And I'd like to have you maybe take a look at, and I want to hear from you, Mr. Todd, regarding the conversion of these schoolhouses / buildings into affordable housing. What do you think about that? And is that a city planning issue?
I would think it is. Most schools are in communities. I actually was just thinking about this yesterday. Off 6 Mile and Telegraph area, there's a beautiful school right in the heart of a community that's been vacant for years.
You know the name of it?
Off Lenore. I can't remember the name of it. Off Tireman is a school. It's in the heart of a neighborhood. Acres of land, still has a solid foundation standing. I had the opportunity to walk through Cooley just before.
Don't say that word. That's my alma
sorry.
mater. And the way it's been stripped and vandalized, I mean, it just,
Yeah.
you're going to see some horns pop up in a minute because
Yeah.
that was the most beautiful school built in the 1920s.
Yeah.
Marble,
Yeah.
wood,
Yeah.
the handwork, the workmanship. It cannot be ever duplicated, ever.
Yeah.
We had an auditorium that looked like the Fox Theater,
Yes, ma'am.
stripped, burned down to the ground.
Yes, ma'am.
And when you say that, it just makes my blood bubble,
Yeah.
percolate,
Yeah.
because it is just unthinkable. I don't know the destruction in people's minds that would make you go in there and set the auditorium on fire. But anyway, go ahead, Mr. Ringer. When you say Cooley High School, I just become infuriated.
Even through the litany of fires, one or two of which I've been at, when they were bidding out for the demolition work, there were contractors from across the state that were in there walking around in awe of within the still current condition of that building. I recently had the opportunity to, there was a school conversion off of the Lodge that's currently a workspace. I can't remember what they call it.
That's Durfee?
Not Durfee.
Not Durfee? Off the Lodge?
Yeah, Invest Detroit, I think they led the renovation of the place, but it's currently a work hub place. They a couple years ago, they turned it into Vans was a part of the exhibit.
Okay.
It's
He knows what
gorgeous.
you're talking about.
It's gorgeous.
Okay, that's what he just
I
said.
apologize for not remembering the
But he
name.
just, Member Benson, do you know the name of the school? Okay, but we'll find it.
And then
Okay.
they once again, most of these schools have acres of land attached to it.
Mhm.
There's new construction that's going on right behind the space in conjunction with the $20+ million redevelopment of the school that is, I mean, it just makes you feel good to be inside of it, to go to it, to want to inquire what's going on in there, and to see development going on that doesn't match the architecture of the community, but from the aspect of adding housing
Yes.
to our communities, it's something that's viable. So I think what you're referring to is something that's necessary. We can't just keep tearing down all these buildings, and we need housing. We need different places for people to be. One of my business consultant, he lives in the one that's on the east side.
Mhm.
And he said, yeah, there are problems. You know, there's certain things, but when you figure you're adding elevators into spaces that didn't have elevators, you're doing a lot of things to make it amenable for people to live in. It's absolutely gorgeous when you're inside of it to have the higher ceilings as compared to the standard 8-foot ceilings in your residential home.
Mhm.
It just opens up your eyes to more of what could be as compared to what is not.
Thank you, Mr. Ringer. Mr. Marcel Todd, you're listening to the conversation. Anything you want to add to the discussion?
Certainly. Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning to you and members of this committee. Very briefly, this is definitely work that we are supportive of and encouraging of. We began to look at this issue with school closures back from the 90s through the early 2000s, and working together with the Historic Designation Advisory Board and the City Council at the time in 2011, 2012 did adopt the first adaptive reuse ordinance in order to see to it that such work would be done. leading to that which you have spoken of at Higginbotham and elsewhere around the city. So we are most definitely supportive. Certainly, I think, as you all know, Dr. Chapman herself lives in one of those converted schools. The Leland School was converted, one of the earliest, if not the first of those conversions there in Lafayette Park. So we are most supportive of that, and we want to see more of it because certainly it is important to be able to maintain the integrity of our neighborhoods as these institutions form the community along with the other components of the community, and wherein we can save the edifice and then add appropriately with consistent use types, residential being a primary one. We can definitely do it. And should do it, I'm sorry.
Yep, and I agree with you, and that's a serious conversation we need to have today because those schools are offline. And when you allow a school to just fall into such disrepair and then you're forced to demolish it, most times at the city's expense, hoping that we'll get reimbursed by the district, I can only speak of now my high school is gone, my middle school is gone, my elementary is barely hanging on. My middle school was Cadillac Middle School on the corner of Coyle and Schoolcraft.
Yes.
Now there's just dirt. There's nothing there. And so, the kids are playing in the dirt. Nope, they didn't leave any green space. They didn't leave a park. They left a hole in the center of that community. And it's just dirt. Just dirt. No grass, no playground, not even one bench. Just dirt. Schoolcraft at Coyle. Just go over there and take a look at it. So it's just disheartening. But I'm hoping that there's a new day here in the city and that we will not allow our school houses and buildings just to fall in such disrepair where they're forced to be demolished. But I thank you. I don't have any other questions for you, Mr. Todd. Thank you for chiming in, Mr. Ringer. I don't have any questions, not unless my colleagues do. Hearing no other questions and no further discussion, is there a motion on line item 6? There's a motion to move line item 6, which is the appointment of Mr. Gary Ringer to formal with the recommendation for approval pending the appropriate resolutions. We know that'll be ready on Tuesday. Is that correct, Mr. King?
That is correct, Madam Chair. Good morning. Edward King, LPD.
Thank you, Mr. King. So we know that resolution will be attached for Tuesday. Do you have anything else is there a motion pending the resolution? Without a
formal recommendation to approve.
Hearing no objections, that action will be taken. Mr. Ringer, is there anything else you want to leave us with?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much for being here with us this morning, your willingness to serve. Okay, that action will be taken. Thank you so much. We are at line item 7.1 under unfinished business, status of Councilmember Denzel McCampbell's submitting a memorandum relative to rules for community advisory councils. This was brought back at the direction of LPD. I'll defer to LPD. Motion, yes.
Yes. Good morning, Phil Keller, LPD.
Discussion, a motion for discussion. Thank you, Member Benson. Mr. Keller?
Yes, to the chair. Well, we're recommending that this item be sent to the president's office for referral to the Rules Committee so that the details can be worked out and input can be provided by the CACs before it comes back to council for adoption.
Okay, is there a motion for discussion or?
Discussion.
Motion for discussion. Member Benson?
Through yourself to LPD, this process, is this laid out in the ordinance?
Through the chair to Member Benson, are you referring to the process for the rules, establishing the rules?
Yes.
There's really nothing in the charter or the ordinance regarding rules specifically for the CACs. Our thought was that we do this draft, refer it to the Rules Committee where we can receive input from the CAC members, and then City Council will adopt a uniform set of rules that will apply to all the CACs.
This is my concern. We are now doing work that is not identified or authorized in any document. Would it be prudent to update the CAC ordinance, which I believe we have, which was required upon establishment of CACs, to then include that city council will be the drafting body or the originating body for the rules, versus doing this and then it not really being authorized by law anywhere, or just allow the CACs themselves to take charge internally and incorporate their rules per CAC. It could be different from a District 7 CAC to a District 5 CAC. My concern is that we're doing some work, but it's not been authorized in the ordinance, and we don't have, if I'm not mistaken, the authority to do that. If I'm a CAC member, I'm going to push back and say, why are you all doing this, City Council? It's not the ordinance for your role. This is our role. But then I'll push back to them. It's not in the charter either, or the ordinance, that you all have the ability. So shouldn't there be something in writing saying who has the authority to implement rules?
Through the chair, I think that's reasonable. We could certainly draft some ordinance language to reflect this procedure.
So, and this is not Councilman Benson saying we have to do this. This has been generated by my colleague. I would confer with them and their staff to see how they want to move this forward. But for me, doing this work but not having the authority identified anywhere is concerning for me. I'd rather have the authority delegated as per the ordinance, that we have the charge, or the CACs have the charge, prior to you all coming back to us on the Rules Committee saying we need to get this done. Let's make sure that we have all of our I's dotted and T's crossed prior to moving this ball forward, is my suggestion.
Member Miller, thank you, Member Benson. Member Miller?
As being one of the districts that only have a CAC, because there's only 3, I was quite clear on what the direction was. The charter does state exactly what they do. I'm not understanding why we're even stagnating on this here with asking someone. It clearly states they are the liaison between the city council and the community. It clearly states the roles that they play within the community and how they should be the persons that are elected, because they're already elected. So the job title is already set. The workings of it is already set. How are you running for something and you don't know what it is? How are we sitting here even saying that we don't know what it is either? It does not look right or sound right to me. So when we get to the next item, I am clearly just saying we're talking about money with elected officials. It should be clear and cut. So I beg to differ with the stall, because people are operating in capacities right now, some of them which are illegal, in my opinion. I think we should just refer to the charter. Here's the rules. It's self-explanatory, and I don't know why they don't make the rules. Just like I didn't say, well, as a city council person, because there's a lot of things I would love to do as a city council person. I would love to do things, say things, but because I can't, because it affects the city, I am under a controlled environment. How do we have them partake on anything? I mean, if it's the beginning, this is not a new thing. They had a charter before. I had a CAC when I was a resident and part of an association. We had a CAC. I met with them. I know what they were doing. This is a new cycle, a new election cycle, so here we are. So I don't understand why don't know what CAC do when they ran for the position.
Member Benson?
So I don't want to confuse the issue here. So what's before us right now are the rules for the CAC. The rules are not called out in the charter or in the ordinance that was authorized by this body that established the CACs once the charter was implemented. Right now, the CACs, actually our colleague is asking for rules. LPD has written draft rules that could provide a blueprint for how they operate. Right now, those aren't anywhere. But the charter also doesn't say that we are the body that creates those rules, nor does the ordinance. So my concern is that we are looking to do work that's not authorized anywhere for anybody to do. There needs to be an authorizing document somewhere that says, City Council, this is your job to write these rules. Or it should say, CAC, this is your job to write these rules. because it's not called out anywhere. That needs to be done prior to us taking on this role. The fact that our colleague has indicated that they would like to help with the CAC, which he also has one, but right now I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. We're a bit over our skis because we don't have authorization anywhere that says who should be doing this. What I would like to do is make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's, that we have that in writing somewhere. I believe it should be in the ordinance. If the city council wants to have that authority, then we can write it in for ourselves. If we want to give that authority to the CACs, then that can also be placed there. But right now, no one has that authority, and it needs to be identified somewhere prior to doing this. This, to me, is just what we do as a body, with a legislative body. We should ensure that we are doing things properly as well, and sometimes it takes time. Unfortunately, it does. These have been around for, is it 10 years now? Well, at least in the charter. I believe it's been 10 years since these have been in the, has it been longer than that? Yeah, we're confused on that one as well. They've been in the charter for a number of years, and now we're finally asking the questions. And this is going to continue. Things are written in butter, not stone. We can change things, but I just want to make sure this is not saying slow down or stall. This is about doing things properly. I just want to make sure that that's clear. And then I'm seeing shaking of heads from LPD. I mean, what are your thoughts on this? Since we don't have the ability.
Mr. Keller from LPD,
Yes, through
and
the
then
chair.
Member Miller.
To Member Benson, I think that it makes a lot of sense to make sure we have the process, whether it be allowing the CACs to develop their own rules or have City Council write the rules. It should probably be established by ordinance so that there's actually a justifying document and a path forward if the rules are going to be changed or altered in the future.
I have a question. Is there anyone who's over the? I don't have one in my district. We tried to get one and we didn't get enough signatures. So, and I'm sure they're going to try again, and that's District 2. So, I'm not understanding how they operate if they don't have any rules. So, are they just haphazardly doing their own thing? Each district is different. There's no uniformity. What's the guide? That's a question for me. But is there anybody from? But is this a creation of the city, the administration, the charter? If it is the charter, then I would think that there would be some rules in place already. So this is all new to me. We don't have one in our community, but we want one. And I would think just common sense would tell me that there needs to be a uniform set of rules governing or guiding the community advisory councils. So I'm kind of surprised that there aren't a set of rules guiding the advisory council. So they're doing what they want to do over here. Perhaps they're doing what they want to do over here. And then here comes more community advisory councils just making up rules as they go along to govern themselves and to govern the body. So I would think that we would want rules. If there aren't any, how are they operating? If they're operating at all. Member
Chair,
Miller?
When I look at the charter, it says the CAC may communicate residents' concerns about city services to the district city council member. 1. 2, advise on housing, economic development, public safety, code enforcement, blight, and other neighborhood issues. 2, help navigate resident city government. 3, meet annually with the mayor and city council to discuss district priorities. 4, and promote understanding of the city's charter and the city's master's plan. They should be coming to us with information on the developments that's in the area, how the residents feel about it. This deals with the zoning. This deals with even adaptive reuse. These are the things that they're supposed to be doing. It clearly states, and it's on the city's website. I met with my CAC and said, this is what the city website says you're supposed to be doing. I met with them and said, this is what the charter says you should be doing. We've not met, and I've not gotten any of this in 5 months. So what is the resident saying? We have a project right here called Butzel. I want to know, how do they feel? You're the first line of command. And this is what it says. So can you tell me how do the residents feel? Because we're going door to door getting this information ourselves. But it says it's an advisory only. They're only to advise. It does not have a legislative or executive power but it can require the district city council members to consult with it on issues that relate to exclusively of that district as provided in the ordinance. It clearly states what it is. It tells how it was formed. So I'm not understanding. This is a communication tool. That is something like being the what did he just say? The Mr. Ringer said he was when you're like a precinct delegate in a sense, but it's the community advisory, people that's in their community, they're really active, and they're running in their community. They've gotten votes for them, for their neighbors. So I'm not understanding what the confusion. If you're not doing anything outside of this right here, that's why on the next 7.2, how do you get a grant and be the fiduciaries of it? I'm asking, is it legal? Because I don't want any parts of it if it's illegal. I can't be a part of that. And really, they may not literally know. They may not know that they cannot go out and get a grant. I myself asked during budget, could I get some money for my CAC in the budget or for all active CACs? The answer was no. I have utilized some of my budget to do some things for them upon request, like buy things to make them more visible, business cards if they wanted. I bought tablecloths, some of my budget, because I want my CAC to be active and have a relationship. I'm not understanding why anything else is being done outside of what I just read that states in the charter. Those are the rules right there. I mean, what do you put to say? You cannot do this, you cannot do that. This is like self-explanatory.
Discussion.
But I do hear a member Benson saying he want to see it. I guess it need to be in alphabetical order or need to be in numerical order. It needs to be like, but if you're just a communication tool and you're just advising only, you should be meeting with your council person regularly, saying the community concerns, and help so we can be better stewards over our district and over our residents. That is what I hope to have with mine. And so because I'm sending people to this meeting because I have to appoint people. And when the people go there that I'm trying to appoint, they're like, they talking about grants. I'm like, really? I don't know if we should be doing that. So this is why I only ask the question, and either they can or they cannot. I don't think they can, but I'm not a lawyer. You are, so I'm coming to you for guidance. So I'm not sure about Member McCampbell's. He probably do want the rules, but I think when I read it, it made sense to me.
Discussion.
So that's just where I stand on it.
I have a question and further discussion. Where are these three community advisory councils located? I know 5, 7, and
4.
4. Okay. 5, 7, 4, 5, and 7. Okay. And Member Benson, and then back to Member Miller. Member Benson?
So there have been a set of rules drafted. It talks about creation of a compensation advisory council, elected members, appointed members, conflicts of interest, dismissal proceedings, powers, duties, and responsibilities. All of those are not called out in the charter nor in the ordinance. This is just a basic day-to-day running. That's nowhere, which is why I'm going to guess our colleague wants these rules. So here's a scenario. The mayor's office delivers rules of how Detroit City Council should operate. I, for one, will say, no, you do not have the authority to do that for our body. If the same thing could be said by CAC. City Council says, here are the rules by which you are to operate. If I'm a CAC member, no, we write our own rules. There's no ordinance that dictates how that works. There needs to be an ordinance somewhere, and this is our job, that says either City Council dictates your rules or the CACs dictate their own rules on how to operate. So I'm not saying anything about what they do, what their roles and responsibilities are. I'm saying how they operate in-house internally day to day, which I have no control over, but there needs to be an authorizing document somewhere that says either the CAC does this or the City Council does this, and that's what we don't have. That's my concern. It's not about the CACs. We don't have one in the 3rd District, and we tried many times to get it and been unsuccessful. But we don't have rules. My colleagues identified that. We need to get it done. But there also needs to be an authorizing legislation that says who's responsible for this. Because right now it doesn't say it's our job. And it doesn't say it's their job. This is just dotting I's and crossing the T's. And this is just all part of being a legislator. We learn things as we go along, that some things are missing. Let's fill that gap. This is an opportunity to fill the gap. And it takes time, unfortunately. But this is also an opportunity for Member Miller. You could say, hey, I want to make sure that this happens. I will work with Member McCampbell to get these written or get the authorizing document done on the city council side to get it done. I mean, this is an opportunity.
This is, to me, this is what we do as a body. This is good conversation. As I indicated earlier, we want a community advisory council in District 2. We didn't get it done, but I think we're going to try it again. And it is advisory only. It says here, community advisory. You're advising, you're making recommendations, you're making suggestions. That's it. That's what your role is. It says it right here, advisory. And advising, you're just offering recommendations, advice from your perspective as serving on the council. That's how I'm looking at it. You don't have any authority to do anything. You're advising. You're coming back to your council person or to your community in an advisory capacity only, right? That's how I'm looking at it. But this is just part of the conversation, so I'm glad we're having it. Is there anything else on this in terms of the rules for community advisory council? Is there if there's no other discussion, is there a motion? Because is the report prepared, Mr. Keller? Is there something we're receiving and filing, or are we bringing this back again?
To the chair, the rules are drafted. The original recommendation was to, have it referred to the Rules Committee. But after discussion, it might want to bring it back until we either discuss with Member McCampbell or until we have ordinance language.
Yeah, is further discussion, Member Benson, Member Miller? Because as I indicate, I'm concerned and I'm interested because we want one in District 2, and I'm sure the other district want one as well. But Member Benson?
The discussion. I
Discussion?
believe that Member Miller has a dog in this fight. I do not have a dog in this fight right now.
You might, though.
In the future.
Yeah.
But right now, I would
Member Miller?
allow that to go to the members who do have a dog in that fight, and that would be District 5 and District 7, and District 4, if I'm not mistaken, has one as well. I would suggest, get together and say, hey, this is what we think should happen. Let's put an ordinance together or modify the existing ordinance to identify who's responsible for that.
Yep, and thank you, Member Benson. And it sounds like our two newest members have the advisory council. I've not heard from any other member from District 4. So I'm going to defer to Member Miller. She's sitting right here, and Member McCampbell. They have a huge interest, which I'm glad that they do. I've not, until you brought this up, you and Member McCampbell, this is my 5th year on this council. And I didn't know what their responsibilities were because I don't have one in District 2. So it was not of an interest to me, but it's of interest to you. Member Miller.
I would say through the chair that prior to this elected body coming for the CAC, on my previous CAC as a resident, I had Byron Osborne, I had Gregory Love. They were very, even as a resident taxpayer, very effective with providing information when we needed answers. They meet it 4 times a year. So there's things, so I am already versed with it. So I will make a motion that we bring it back in 1 week, allow time to me to confer with my 2 colleagues that do have the CACs.
Okay. Is there a motion to bring line item 7.1 back in 1 week? Motion. Hearing no objections, that action shall be taken. Line item 7.1, which is the memorandum relative to the rules for the Community Advisory Council, will be brought back in 1 week. We are at, hearing no objections, that action shall be taken. We are now at line item 7.2, status of Council Member Renata Miller's memorandum relative to questions regarding the Community Advisory Council.
One question. I'm sorry.
Discussion. Is there a motion for discussion?
Discussion.
Member Miller.
I would say, because it does not spells it out on 7.2, but it was to provide a legal and policy analysis regarding the authority of this Community Advisory Council to pursue and administer grant funding. That's what it says for 7.2. I make a motion that we bring back in 1 week.
Okay, there's a motion to bring line item 7.2 back in 1 week. Any objections? Hearing none, that action shall be taken. Line item 7.3, status of Council Member Denzel McCampbell's memorandum relative to questions on employee pay raises. Understand that Denise Starr is available to answer the questions regarding the employee pay increases. Ms. Starr, are you available? Or anyone from HR?
Madam Chair, Director Starr is joining us now as a panelist.
Thank you.
Good morning, City Council.
Good morning, Director Starr. And you you are here regarding line item 7.3 regarding Member McCampbell's questions on employee pay increases.
Yes, through the chair. Yes, we received a memo from Councilmember McCampbell, and he had several questions regarding the living wage, primarily those the living wage that went into effect per the mayor's executive order, went into effect 7/6, which was this past Monday. And the questions really centered on how does this impact seasonal employees who don't work typically a full year, so they're not full time. One thing I will say is we are currently in negotiations with the Motor City Seasonals, which is the union that these employees would be a part of. And so, although I cannot share the discussions that are happening at the table, I think in the very near future, something will be coming forth after those negotiations are complete. Not sure it will take them to the 2145, but we certainly, with the livable wage ordinance, executive order, we looked at how many, individuals are impacted by this. There were approximately 1,100 employees that we did increase their wages, their hourly wage, to the livable wage of $21.45 an hour, effective this past Monday. There are approximately 300 seasonal employees. And as I indicated, they're at the table right now in negotiations. There are employees, another one of the questions, are there any of the seasonal employees that might be working full time for us? There are several that cross over depending on the season. So it could be that during the summer they're working in GSD and recreation area and parks and maintenance. And during the winter time, they might be working for snow removal and other areas to support the winter months. There are not that many individuals that are, working full time in these positions year round, but we do have a handful.
Okay. I don't have any other questions. Thank you, Director Starr. For discussion, Member Benson.
Thank you. So if we were to extend this to all employees in the city of Detroit, no matter FTE, no matter part-time or even TAS, what would that cost the city to extend a minimum wage irregardless of your title or position in the city? What would that cost?
Through the chair, I would have to come back and give you that estimate, or get something very close to what it would actually cost. We looked at that, but with the monies that we did have available for this effort, this was our first step forward in being able to do that. But I will, through the chair, I will come back and send along what those additional costs would be.
All right, thank you. Now, incremental steps are also positive steps forward as well. So then here's my other question. Do we know how many employees do not receive the minimum pay or the basic minimum wage in the city of Detroit?
Well, we know for sure the seasonals, which is about 300 employees. On the TAS employees, I will have to come back with the actual number because I don't want to misspeak on that.
Okay. I also know that our crossing guards aren't making, and we just had that conversation a couple of weeks ago, just got approved this past Tuesday. I don't think they're making the minimum wage either. I'd be interested in knowing how many people don't make that minimum wage. And here's my anecdote. I see one of our maintenance staff at the Detroit Zoo one morning. And so we were just about to approve this. I said, you're going to get a big pay raise. And then he said, no, I'm not. He said, I do maintenance at Heilman Rec Center. I'm a contract employee, and I have to have 2 jobs because I can't make ends meet on that contract employment. So I do maintenance here at the Detroit Zoo as well, and I do it over at the rec center. So, I mean, there are a number of people who aren't in that space. So I'd be interested to know, not advocating yet that we find the money in the budget, but I think we should at least know how many people don't qualify, and what would it cost us to bring everybody into that space. Then here's the other question then for you. What type of management challenge does that offer if we're now bringing everybody up to the basic minimum wage? There's got to be some management challenges there as well, I would believe.
Through the chair, the individual that you were speaking of is probably one of the seasonal employees. And as I had indicated in the response to the memo, that they're in current contract negotiations. And I'm not saying, that they will get the 2145, but we're currently in discussions with that union. And so that's the approximately 300 individuals there. I will say this, this is a great first step, the livable wage. This has really changed individuals' lives. And, thank you to, Mayor Sheffield's leadership and your, and City Council's leadership and support on this effort, because it really has changed individuals' lives where they don't have to do gig work. Possibly they can spend more time with their family and, and have a livable wage. And so this is, I will say, the first step in being able to impact individuals' lives. Some of our employees received upwards of $6 an hour, which is $12,000 a year, which is, extremely impactful. And, when estimating what the cost of this was going to be, we have a lot of turnover, and then we have individuals who are having to work 2-3 jobs. And one other area that might be interesting to council and to the public is that others have reached out to us, and before City Council approved this, and wondered, was it really happening? Because they're looking at their organizations and changing their wages to the livable wage as well.
And I want to make it very clear, I'm not questioning why we do this or trying to diminish it or say we shouldn't. I'm just asking different questions. There's a memo before us, and I think there's been some questions that are asked here and some additional ones that haven't been asked yet. So I'm glad. Incremental steps forward are steps forward. And so we're tip of the spear here. So it's fantastic. But there are additional questions here. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Benson. Member Miller, you have any questions? Director Starr, thank you for your hard work in this regard. And 1,100 employees, $21.45 an hour. That's 1,100 employees whose lives have been changed for the better. And that's what we do in this city. And then also the 300 seasonal, we're hoping that they will benefit from this livable wage increase. And thank you, Member Benson, for your questions. And I just have one for you, Director Starr. Where did the money come from?
The money came from the fund that is utilized for union negotiations. Mm-hmm. And we work closely with finance, and there were some dollars that were there that we were able to expend on this initiative.
So I'm grateful that we have a mayor in office who care about the people she serves and that we serve. I don't want to say this should have been done a long time ago, but it should have been done a long time ago. When you care about people, you want to change their trajectory in life in a positive way. And that has happened under our current mayor's leadership. And it happened, and this leadership, the leadership of this council, this body, in agreement with our mayor. And I'm grateful that it happened practically on day one, putting families first in this city. And hopefully someone from the administration is listening to this body. And we're grateful, and all of the 1,100 and soon to be, hopefully, the seasonal workers will be impacted as well in a positive way. It makes living in the city not easier, but more comfortable, because it still is a fight to live in the city. And when you're making less than $21.45, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. And I remember last year when the casino workers were here in the main auditorium, Director Starr, I don't know if you remember, but they're mostly African-American women. And that was just one of their jobs. They all had multiple jobs to take care of their families. So this has made a difference. So thank you so much. I don't have any other questions. Is there a motion on line item 7.3?
Motion to receive and file.
There's a motion to receive and file the report from employee pay increases, the question submitted by member Denzel McCampbell. Any objections? Hearing none, that action shall be taken. Thank you. Yes, member Benson.
Just further discussion, Madam Chair. This is obviously after the vote has been taken. I did want to say, this body approved the ALICE stability resolution a number of years ago, which puts a suggestion and urges that jobs we go after for economic development purposes offer ALICE stability wages, which is about $32 an hour in the city of Detroit. It may now be $34 an hour after inflation. And so just want to reflect on that as well. ALICE stability versus the minimum wage is significantly higher. That's about $20,000 a year higher than what we're offering. And so just wanted to say that. Those numbers they're stark, but at $21.45 versus a $15, that's also stark.
Very stark.
But there's still ways to go, and we just got to keep looking and plugging away at it, and we'll get there. But just want to bring some more thought to this conversation as well. Thank you.
Thank you, member Benson. Thank you, Director Starr.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Have a good day.
You too, ma'am. Thank you. We are now at line item 7.4, status of Councilmember Scott Benson's submitting a memorandum regarding City Council Media Services Division. I'll defer to, is there a motion for discussion?
Motion.
Member Benson?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
And so this line item, I'm going to say receive and file. Line item 8.11 speaks directly to this, and the report has been filed, and we can discuss it at that point. Motion to receive and file?
Okay, so there's a motion to receive and file line item 7.4. Should we be combining that with the 8.11?
We can.
Okay. There's a motion to combine and move to a motion to receive and file line item 7.4 along with 8.11. Discussion. Member Benson?
If LPD, are you all prepared to give a brief overview of your recommendation here?
Through the chair, yes, we can do that.
Mr. Keller?
So what we've laid out in the report is sort of a historical, some data on what it looked like when council did manage its own media services staff. We've sort of looked at now currently the media services department budget and sort of extrapolated from that a few different avenues council could pursue depending on sort of the scope of services that council would like. But there's sort of various considerations within that. First is just the scope of the work, whether social media staff will be included in that, whether a dedicated graphic designer would be included in that. Additionally, whether some portion of this work would be contracted or how many full-time staff members. So ultimately, this is sort of a jumping off point. I think there needs to be more discussion between council members to sort of narrow down what the actual framework or what the need is, and then we can sort of further hone in on the estimates and how to proceed.
Member Benson?
Thank you. And so, Madam Chair, this is something that we talked about during this past budget cycle. And so I am now taking notes. So we've talked about ambulance service. I want to bring that in-house. There's a cost there. We've talked about bringing media back in-house to City Council. There's a cost there. So we now need to start thinking about what our ask is for the budget cycle for fiscal year 28. So this would be number 2 that I know that we've discussed as a body that we want to see. And so there are 3 different tiers. I think it's 720, 1.2, and then 2.3 or something like that. In this report, what do we want to see? And this could also be a working group, or someone can take it on the task force. I'm not going to take it on the task force. But since this is my question, I would be willing to work with my colleagues to see what do we want to do? What actually do we see? And this is a great foundation for us to start thinking about it. So my suggestion would be to receive and file this today, and then we'll start reaching out to our colleagues so we actually have a number for next year. Because I do want to have a number based on the feedback from our colleagues of what we want to do. And I believe this is how we do it. We start early. It's July. The fiscal year just started, so that this time next year we can have in-house media service and there's no more complaining. There would be hours, it would be our responsibility to manage, or we can just work with adding new people to the budget, and then we still stop complaining because we have enough coverage that we get what we need as the legislative body. So my suggestions are receive and file today. That's my motion, and then we will start the conversations to put this number into the budget for next year.
If there's a motion to receive and file line item 7.4, hearing no objections, that action shall be taken.
And then further discussion, Madam Chair?
Further discussion, Member Benson?
And then there will be a recommendation made to the administration for a line item number for that, and if they don't put it in there, we can put it in ourselves. Just FYI.
Yep, FYI. Thank
Through
you,
the
Member
chair,
Benson. Yes,
There was
Madam Clerk?
The discussion came from 811. Are we just receiving and filing 7.4, or are we receiving and filing both line items?
Receiving and filing both line items, if not mistaken. I'm looking at LPD. Is that correct? Yes, Madam Clerk, that is correct.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question. We are now at line item under new business, the Mayor's Office, 8.1, submitting a resolution authorizing appointment of Javon Glenn to the Detroit Land Bank, effective immediately, ending on July the 1st, 2013, upon City Council approval. Is there a motion?
Motion to receive, to remove, that's already been completed.
Is there a motion?
Through the chair.
Yes. Ms. Sullivan?
Good morning, Brianna Sullivan, City Government Affairs. This is the accompanying resolution for the vote that you all already did.
Okay, so is this a motion to, you said this is a resolution?
Updated.
And it's already been provided?
Correct. This should still be voted on. You all have already voted on it. This is just the accompanying resolution from the administration.
So is there a discussion?
This is the resolution from the mayor's office. This is the mayor's appointment, but we have the handshake deal.
Yep.
Where we make the appointment, and so this is the mayor submitting the resolution from their office. So it's being initiated from the appropriate place, which is why I've indicated we'd like to see some language that actually gives us that appointment. But that's neither here nor there right now. Motion to recommend approval and send to formal.
There's a recommendation to move line item 8.1 to formal with a recommendation for approval. Any objections? Hearing none, that action shall be taken. Thank you, Ms. Sullivan, and thank you, Member Benson. We are now under Office of Contracting and Procurement, line item 8.2, contract number 6007968, 100% city funding. To provide a digital evidence management solution for body-worn and in-car cameras via MyDeal or MeDeal. I guess it's MyDeal contract out of Chicago, Illinois. I do see Mr. Robert Millender here. I understand there's a Latrice Yelder who will be joining you, I guess, virtually. Is there a motion for discussion?
Motion.
Mr. Millender, we see you making your way to the microphone. You know what to do when you get there. This is a 5-year contract. I don't even know how to say it. $12,215,000. I don't even know how to say it. $889.
Madam Chair.
Going to Chicago. Yes, sir. Mr. Millender, you want to introduce yourself and share your title? If Latrice Yelder is on, if you can promote her. Ms. J.C., Mr. Millender.
Through the chair, Robert Miller, Director of Public Safety IT. And I would also ask through the chair, 8.2, line item 8.2 and 8.3 are both related to each other.
Okay.
So if we can discuss those together, I appreciate it through the chair.
Please proceed, sir.
Through the chair, the contract that you have for you today, there are two. The one contract is for the Digital Evidence Management System. This establishes a 5-year agreement with Motorola Solutions, the city's enterprise evidence management system. These agreements continue and expand on the services currently provided under contract purchase agreement 6004033 for our restructuring the procurement to better support long-term operational and financial needs. The system is a comprehensive enterprise solution that includes body-worn cameras, in-car video system, digital evidence and management system, secure cloud storage, software licensing, maintenance, technical support, replacement and procurement of new hardware, professional and implementation services. The reason why we're structuring these in two separate agreements is today is one is for the actual services and the other one's for the actual procurement of software. The $4 million contract for procurement of software is an as needed, so it's not tying any city budget or anything like that. It's just as needed and requested by departments. We have seen a substantial increase, an increase in how body-worn cameras were originally done today. Originally, it was just a DPD project. Now it's expanded to our General Service Department, Animal Control, as well as DDOT Security is using them as well. So that's what I have for you today through the chair. Any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Is there a motion for discussion? Okay, so Mr. Millender, I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. Are you saying that body-worn cameras are now going to be extended to GSD, Animal Control, and what was the other agency?
DDOT Service, they're in there today. Right now, our Animal Control divisions and General Service Security divisions are using body-worn cameras when they meet the public. And as well as DDOT Security is asking for them as well. And this contract will cover those. They already have, like I said, General Service Department and Animal Control have them today. And DDOT Security is going to be receiving them as well.
This is a lot of body cameras. I'm just trying to make sure I understand. DPD, of course. GSD, does GSD currently have body-worn cameras?
GSD security staff currently has them.
Okay. Animal Control?
Animal Control currently
And now
has them.
DDOT wants.
Yes.
Who will be wearing the body cameras? With the bus drivers?
No, not the bus drivers. It'll be the security teams.
Security.
Yes. If you want through the chair, I can break down the numbers precisely for
Yeah,
each one
that
of
would
the
be helpful.
departments.
That would be helpful.
DPD has 2,800. General Service and Animal Control has 24. And DDOT will be getting 67. So that's a total of 2,891 cameras.
What about Animal Control?
GSD and Animal Control, since they're underneath the
Are the
same
same.
department, we consider that 24 includes them as well.
Okay, so 2,800 DPD, 24 and Animal Control, GSD and Animal Control, 24, and then 67 for DDOT Security.
That is correct through the chair.
Okay, all right. And then in-car cameras?
In-car cameras, as of right now, that's just only one department, and that is DPD. And I think they have 631. I'll get that exact number for you. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
I can get that to you, but we can go through the chair. You can bring more questions to me, but I believe it's 631 in-car cameras.
Okay, okay. And then I'm going to see if my colleagues have any questions. With the 631 in-car cameras, does that include installation, or that's just the actual equipment?
That's the service. It's the service that you see right now. What we have to do for body-worn cameras and in-car video to function correctly, it has to be uploaded to a cloud storage location and then actually tagged for evidence. So we're paying for that service through there right now through the chair. So that is for the service fee for those in-car videos that we're seeing today.
So the in-car videos are already in the vehicles now?
Yeah, they're already in the vehicle.
So this is service?
Service. And what we have, just so you understand how the body camera works for DPD, the actual body camera is a system. So the body camera, when you get in there, is tethered to the in-car service. So when the lights come on, it has different triggers that come on that actually activate the in-car system as well as the body camera system that's being worn by the officers.
Okay, okay. All right. Any other discussion? from my colleagues?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
this is Anthony Johnson, LPD staff. Just want to make this body aware, Madam Chair, that a correction letter for line item 8.2 was sent this morning, right before you all began discussing this contract. The correction letter is increasing the total contract amount by about $300,000 from $12,215,889. It's being amended to $12,523,254.11. The LPD team has not received the reasoning why for the increase, but I do see we have OCP online that can speak to that change. Just wanted the body to be aware before the vote. Thank
I'm
you.
going to definitely make a motion to bring this back in a week so I can understand what's happening here this morning. So there is a motion to bring this back before we can listen to contracts and procurement, but $300,000 change, let me finish. Change is not going to be handled here this morning because I have to see what the increase is for and why it was changed maybe it was changed prior to this morning, but this body is just getting it this morning, and that's a lot for me to, I'm sure a lot for all three of us to digest right now. So I will hear from the person who I think that's Director Stahl. If I'm not mistaken, it's kind of blurry. If it's not Director Stahl, I don't know if you can introduce yourself. I can barely see your face because of the screen. But is there a motion for discussion? And then we're going to hear from the individual. Ma'am, you want to introduce yourself? I can't see.
Oh, yes. My name is Latrice Yelder, and I'm the Contract and Procurement Specialist with OCP.
Ms. Yelder, $300,000 increase?
Yes, what happened is that when the information was submitted, there were animal control and actually DDOT, their pricing information wasn't included. So we had to include theirs on top of Detroit Police's.
And through the chair, I actually have the amounts for each one of those increases. The animal control for 5 years is $90,642.49. The DDOT for 5 years is $216,722.62. That includes the services as well as the body camera for each one of those departments, and they won't be receiving any in-car services at this time. And one more thing I would like to add through the chair is that the list price for the services that we're receiving is $16,508,785.30. The city received a $3,985,548.82 discount on what we're receiving today. That gathers to the actual total of $12,423,254.11. So that's how we got to that amount.
I know we had a motion to bring this back. That motion is still on the floor. We have DDOT wanting 67. DDOT causes us a lot in lawsuits. I'd like to see what their budget is, and then DPD the same thing. And I know that these are critical agencies in this city, but my goodness, the motion still stands, and we're going to bring this back in a week. I just have a lot of questions, and then we got a $3 million discount. Okay, that's great. I'd like to know if there's another discount we can get, because this is a 5-year contract, and some of us will be here on this council, and some of us won't. And I just don't like. I know what you're going to say, Mr. Millender. When we enter these multi-year contracts, we are at an advantage because we get discounts. But I am going to ask my colleagues if there's no other further discussion. That motion still stands, bringing it back in a week, Mr. Millender.
And through the chair, through the chair, I'm sorry to cut you off if I did.
No, you didn't cut me off.
Through the chair, one thing is that the actual budget for body cameras has been moved to Do It, so that's why it's before you today. Do It handles all the technical requests from DPD, and I can tell you now that has been, but this amount was budgeted, and Do It's FY27 budget for that amount that we see today before you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Mr. Millender.
Further discussion, Madam Chair?
Yes, Member
On the
Benson.
motion, just what is the sense of urgency here?
The urgency is that we can't pay. Our next billing cycle is due. That's why we brought this to you. Our next billing cycle is due I think it's the end of July. Our next billing cycle is due by the end of July. So that's why this contract's before you today, so we continue with ongoing services and pay to Motorola. That's why we would like to get it completed and done by the end of this calendar year before council goes on recess through the chair.
Okay. So today being the 8th, comes back in a week, you still have 2 bites at the apple at formal.
Through the chair, we understand. That's fine. We will be ready to answer any questions provided by this honorable body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Member Benson. That's reasonable. So the motion, we'll bring it back next week without objection. But Mr. Millender, I have one quick question. How many, is this the only company that does this? I know you said it is. I remember you saying this about a year ago. And how long have we been doing business with this company out of Chicago? And I think you said this is the only one who actually offers this service?
Through the chair, no, this isn't. For body cameras, I may have mentioned that for another contract that came before you,
Yeah.
for radio maintenance. For body camera, no, it isn't. That we have looked at those. The one thing that's important to remember is the integration piece. With our teams do from an integration standpoint for the in-car service is when our vehicles get in accidents or anything of those type of things, we're replacing those and put them into different cars. And that integration piece will be lost. We try to move to a new service, as well as we would have to, a large amount of our data is stored up there. In order for me to migrate to a different system, we would have to actually have dual contracts and handle the migration piece. That's why we chose to go in this direction for this one.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Millender, and we'll see you next week.
Oh, no problem. Through the chair. Have a good day.
You too, sir. And thank you, Ms. Yelder. All right. Now we are on line item 8.4 under the Law Department.
The chair.
Yes, Madam Clerk.
For a point of clarity, 8.2 and 8.3 will be brought back in a week.
Yes, that is correct. 8.2 and 8.3 will be brought back in a week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Additionally, Madam.
Yes, Madam Parliamentarian.
Someone make the motion. The motion.
Member Benson did.
He made a motion. Oh, okay, he made a motion.
He made a motion because we discussed them both combined. We didn't discuss them separately. We discussed 8.2 and 8.3 together, and that is what he made a motion to move them both to formal.
Okay.
Okay, and that was without objection. Thank you so much, Madam Parliamentarian and Madam Clerk. We are at the Law Department, line item 8.4, settlement in the lawsuit of Aaron Salter versus Donald Olson. This is the Police Department. This is in the amount of $5.8 million. Is there a motion for discussion or a motion for approval?
Motion.
There's a motion to approve a $5.8 million settlement in the lawsuit of Aaron Salter versus Donald Olson. This is a reverse conviction case, if I'm not mistaken. This gentleman spent 15 years in jail, if I'm not mistaken. And 5.8 is not even enough to restore him or to repay him for being in jail 15 years of his life. But without objection, this action will be taken, moved to formal with recommendation for approval. Thank you, Member Miller. Whew, okay, line item 8.5, settlement in a lawsuit of Mr. Miller versus the City of Detroit, DDOT, in the amount of $32,000. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion to move line item 8.5 to formal with a recommendation to approve without objection. That action shall be taken. And then line item 8.6, in the matter of Dede Daoud versus the officer Lorenzo Palmer, Police Department, in the amount of $5,000. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion to move line item 8.6 to formal with a recommendation for approval. Hearing no objections, that action shall be taken. Line item 8.7, settlement in the lawsuit of Robert McKenzie versus the City of Detroit, DDOT, in the amount of $32,500. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion to move line item 8.7 without objections. That action shall be taken. Line item 8.8, settlement in the lawsuit of Shakita Danielle Mack Lewis versus Brent Michael Sahur and the City of Detroit Police Department in the amount of $140,000. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion to move line item 8.8 to formal with a recommendation for approval. Hearing no objections, that action shall be taken. Line item 8.9 under Human Resources, Classification and Compensation Division. Request to amend the 2026-2027 official compensation schedule for the deputy clerk. Is there someone on from Human Resources? I think, is there a Brenda Van Toll on standby to?
Madam Chair, she has been promoted to panelist.
Okay. Ms. Van Toll? Ms. Van Toll?
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We are on line item 8.9 regarding the compensation schedule for the deputy city clerk.
Yes.
What is the pay range now? Is being
The current,
Mhm.
I can let you know. The current pay range is 88,226 to 105,913.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Are there any other questions? Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Van Toll.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. Is there a motion to move to formal?
Motion.
There's a motion to move 8.9 to formal with a recommendation for approval. Hearing no objections, that action shall be taken. Line item 8.10 under Human Resources and Labor Relations, changes to Police and Fire Retirement System, Section 12.3, subsection 3, addition of Section 12.3, subsection 7, and changes to Section 18.8 of Component 1, Article 12 of the Police and Fire Retirement System, covers the provisions of the Deferred Retirement Option Plan program, which is available to members who are covered by collective bargaining agreements with the city that permit such members to participate in the Deferred Retirement Option Plan program, and those non-union executives of the police department and the fire department.
Through the chair,
Madam Clerk.
I was informed from earlier today that this is a resolution attached and not submitting a report.
Okay, so line item 8.10?
Yes.
So the resolution is attached?
Yes, it is.
So that would be, is there a motion to receive and file the resolution from line item 8.10?
I believe I would defer to LPD.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk.
That this would be moving to formal.
Madam Clerk, thank you. LPD, Mr. King? I can't hear you, Mr. King.
I don't see the resolution as of yet, but if there is a resolution attached, there should be action taken on that item. So it could be moved to formal with the recommendation, which is the will of this body.
Okay, thank you, Mr. King. I don't see the resolution, so I would need to see it, and I would hope that LPD would have a copy of it since we do not. Is there a motion to bring line item back 8.10 in a week, pending the receipt of the resolution?
Motion.
There's a motion to bring line item 8.10 back in 1 week, pending the receipt of the resolution. Without objection, that action shall be taken. Line item 8.11, Legislative Policy Division, submitting a report relative to City Council Media Service. That we've already done that. Thank you, Madam Clerk. And now we're on miscellaneous, 8.11. We've already done that. Now we're on 8.12, miscellaneous. Councilmember Denzel Anton McCampbell submitting a memorandum relative to request for legal opinion regarding sharing of administrative responses.
This is connected to.
This is connected to what line? Member Miller, you're saying? Because I don't see anything. You said it's 7.1. 7.4. 7.4 is media services, and 8.12 is a legal opinion regarding the sharing of administrative responses. Mr. King?
Madam
Line
Chair.
8.12?
Yes, 8.12. We ask that this item be referred to LPD and the Law Department.
I'm sorry, sir?
We ask that this item be referred to LPD and the Law Department for an opinion.
Okay. Is there a motion to refer line item 8.12 to law and to LPD?
Motion.
There's a motion to refer line item 8.12 to LPD and the Law Department. Hearing no objections, that action shall be taken. And I do understand that Mr. John Naglick is here regarding line item 8.10, changes to police and fire retirement system. If Mr. John Naglick is available, we'll hear from you, sir, but we're already going to bring this back in a week.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'm sorry. I have located the resolution for 8.10.
Okay, so there would have to be a motion for reconsideration of the vote to bring it back in a week, knowing now that Mr. King has received the resolution relative to 8.10. We'll still hear from Mr. John Naglick, but is there a motion to reconsider our vote on line 8.10, knowing now that Mr. King from LPD has received the resolution?
Motion.
There's a motion to reconsider the vote 8.10. Without objection, that action shall be taken. And Ms. J.C., if you could promote Mr. John Naglick, who will be speaking online.
Madam Chair, John Neglett was on earlier, but he's dropped from the call since.
Okay. He's no longer, maybe he'll join us next Tuesday. All right, thank you, Ms. J.C. All righty. Now we are at members' reports. Madam Clerk?
To the chair, you've reconsidered 8.10,
Yes.
so we would need a.
So there's a motion to reconsider our vote, which we just did, and now we know that 8.10 is going to go to formal with a recommendation for approval. Is there a motion for that? Motion to move line item 8.10 to formal with a recommendation for approval. Hearing no objections, that action shall be taken. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Also, 8.12, you referred to LPD and law. There wasn't a motion to move anywhere. Is it coming back in a week, or?
I'm going to defer to Mr. King since he asked that we do that. Mr. King?
2 weeks, Madam Chair,
Okay.
please.
Is there a motion to bring line item 812 back in 2 weeks?
Motion.
There's a motion to bring line item 8.12 back in 2 weeks without objections. That action shall be taken. And thank you, Madam Clerk. You're amazing. We appreciate you. All right. We are now at members' report. Member Miller?
Negative report for me.
Negative report for me as well. Without objection, if no other business to come before this body, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Thank you.